Welcome back. We got another episode of Hoop Sense, but we got our guy back in the driver's seat. What's going on, Trey? How we
What's up,
doing?
Mike? Man, you was holding it down, man. I got a chance to catch Eddie and Zach on. It was great replacements for me.
Yeah,
They
shouts
kept
to
the
them for
seat
jumping
warm.
in.
You know what I mean? It was some fun episodes. So glad
Yeah,
to be back.
appreciate them jumping in, filling in. But good to have you back, man. Good to have you back.
Yeah,
How's the new, you're in a new location? How are we doing?
man. We're just getting ready for some playoff basketball, man. I'm
Yeah.
here live on location, Indianapolis, waiting on the New York Knicks. You know what I mean? That should be a fun series, man. So I can't wait. The city's really fired up here, but also the biggest sport is about to happen this weekend over basketball, the Indy 500.
Oh, right. All right. We're getting you in the circle. You getting a brick? They get you in the building for it?
I don't know if I might think about it. I'm gonna see if I actually want to do that.
Yeah, that's a different vibe. Or do we trying to get you in the building here though for Eastern Conference Finals? We making that happen?
I might.
Yeah,
We still up in the air. Game 3, possibly.
there we
It
go.
seems like the tickets already sold out.
Let's start with that. So Knicks and Pacers. I get the last time we checked in, I feel like probably both of those series were like 2-1 maybe with the Pacers and the Cavs and the Knicks and the Celtics and
Hmm.
the energy here in New York is nutso. They're everybody's really fired up. A lot of orange and blue no matter what time or what borough you're going out into the city. How are you feeling heading into this? Like, do you have a strong lean for one of these two teams? It's been kind of
Nah,
fun, like both of them.
I'm excited, man. I
Yeah,
know I was wrong on the last series. I mean, a lot of people were wrong on the last
yeah,
series, unless you're a Knicks fan. You know what I mean? Only Knicks faithful could believe
it's true.
that they were actually going to beat the Celtics. I had Celtics in 6, and obviously the Knicks were able to take care of business. But overall, yeah, man, I just looked at it like, this could be a fun series because they kind of equally match up. And they have, they have some history behind it. That dates back almost 25 years. So yeah, it's gonna be fun, man. It's just heated environment, and Tyrese Halliburton's fun, and Jalen Brunson's fun, and New York crowd getting involved, and yeah, I hope this one goes 7.
Yeah, I do too. I feel like it's going to. I kind of like there's something so cool about this Knicks team where uh no matter how the first three quarters go, right? If you're in the fourth quarter and it's a few possession game, like this team just has supreme confidence that they are gonna win that game. And I can't remember a team like this in a while where it's just closer energy. You know what I mean? Like it almost reminds me of like the Yankees in baseball way back when they're like, oh yeah, if we have the lead in the seventh inning, it's a wrap. Like we're
Yeah.
bringing in Rivera and it's done. There's nothing you can do. And it does kind of feel like, I mean, I'm a Celtics fan and on the throughout that entire series, and then even watching it in the first round against the Pistons, they're like, oh, couple possession game, man. So Knicks will take this. And so I think
Mhm.
it'll be so fun because this will be a different defensive look that the Pacers are going to throw at Brunson, where like Holiday and White, obviously really good perimeter defenders, but Nembhard is going to be a little bit of a different story, I think, for Brunson, just for the amount of like attention he's going to get from start to finish. So I'm curious to see how Brunson's going to be able to handle the new look from Indiana.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly think that he's going to be able to be all right. He's going to get his shots up. I
Mhm.
think the other problem I'm focusing on right now is if Tibbs is going to use cat and drop coverage because they're going to get punished by that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't know. I think there has to be a real adjustment being made, but we'll see. I don't have all the answers. I just really just hope that this series is truly fun and it continues to live up to the hype. I don't want like a 4-0 blowout or
No, I don't.
any
No
injuries. I
way.
want it to be dictated that way.
Yeah, and it feels like for the third consecutive series, Cat should be a pretty good advantage for the Knicks, like offensively too. I know, like historically, he's kind of beat up Miles a little bit, but
Mhm.
Miles is also playing. I've never seen this Miles Turner like this postseason run. Miles has been really good on both ends, and that three ball's been falling. He looks nice. So yeah, I'm with you. I think it's gonna be a long. I think it is gonna be a long series. I think it'll be a pretty competitive one, and then I'm sure we'll get some Monday Night Raw appearances from both of those guys in the
Oh,
future as
yeah.
well.
You see Halliburton's featured in a new WWE 2K game
I saw that.
as a playable character, and people were saying they're gonna play against him so they can kick his ass, so I think that's great.
I love that too. Yeah, they're leaning into it a little bit. Hey,
Mhm.
how did you feel about Halliburton bringing out the guy who post Knicks series win was
Oh,
wearing the
got the
Hallebertton.
trash thrown at him and stuff?
Yeah, they're bringing him out to Indiana
Yeah,
for game 3.
I think that's good, man. They just need to win.
Yeah, they do just have to win.
Depending on the series lead, like if it's 1-1 or if they're down 0-2, it's a little dicey. It's almost a distraction. So
Right.
I better hope they can still win.
Yeah. I know. There's been a lot of
The
fun.
antics.
Sorry, say that again.
I said they just need to make sure that they're in the mix before they lean into the antics.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You can't be down 0-2 and then releasing Benedict Mathurin like that too.
Mhm.
Do you think what was your response when you saw the trash being thrown? Was that just kind of like why we're wearing a Halliburton jersey out after
No, I mean it's 50-50. The old answer is leave that man alone.
yeah,
The young answer is just like poking a bear.
yeah.
You came in feeling like I want to wear this jersey and nobody's gonna do anything to me.
Yeah. I think both can be true, right? Like you
Yep.
probably shouldn't be throwing the trash, but you also probably shouldn't be wearing the Halliburton jersey. Like, use your head a little bit. Use your head a little bit. So Western Conference tips off tonight. We get that. We got the I don't know, kind of a underwhelming game 7. I think it was pretty exciting there for the first quarter, and then just out of gas. Were you just like blown away that Aaron Gordon even went out there?
No, I mean he loves his team.
Yeah.
Everybody else would try to get into leaving it all on the floor.
Yeah.
And he had a very trying year. He lost his brother Drew,
Mm-hmm.
and just trying to benefit through that and made some big shots for his team to get there. So, they've dubbed him Mr. Nugget, and he plays with a lot of passion and cares about his teammates. So he gave his all when he can barely walk, and hopefully he can get healthy, and getting back to the right situation so he can return to play with them.
Yeah, he was definitely like one of the playoff winners, I think, just from the last like 2 months or whatever. He's been so good, and so he's been like consistently their second best guy, doing a little bit of everything for them. Had 2 game winners in the postseason. He's been awesome. I just like for him to get like ruled out of the rest of the playoffs, and then 4 hours later be like, "Nah, I'm actually playing Game 7." I thought that was
Mhm.
pretty badass. But yeah, we got OKC finished them off, and I wouldn't say like out of control, but the defense, they finally felt comfortable. I felt like for the first time in that series, they looked like the OKC team.
OKC's good, man. Like they're
Yeah.
gonna have their bad games, but it's a make or miss league, man.
Hmm.
Like I mean, I think in those situations, like you know, it should be interesting seeing them match up with Minnesota. Minnesota can easily make a lot of mistakes and give this away, or OKC can not be physical enough and get bunked. So it depends on what team shows up, and I think a lot of things are going to be interesting, and hopefully this series is closer than what we think it is.
Yeah, I wonder if we see a little bit more of like Chet playing the 5, just because we didn't see any of that really against Denver because Jokic was just kind of eating them up. And I wonder if that looks a little bit different against the Minnesota team. But on the Minnesota side, we're talking about Aaron Gordon being a playoff winner. How about Julius Randle, man?
Julius
Randle
Randle, man,
on one.
he's been able to answer all the adversity.
Mm,
You know what I mean? When you really think about how it goes about everything, like, like people thought it was a bad trade or that they were able to, you know what I'm saying? Um, like they dumped them off, the Knicks dumped them off or somebody and they got fleeced. It worked out for
mhm.
both teams. Both of these teams are playing in the conference finals and continue to be effective. You know what I mean? And it's only going to get better. It's up from here. So I'm really excited to see what Julius and Dante do this series.
Yeah, I think, like you said, make or miss league, right? I think if Minnesota is able to, consistently knock down the 3 ball a little bit and take care of the ball, I think that's one of the things that makes you a little bit nervous. And that's what you saw in Game 7, where like OKC was just like, "Hey, we're gonna." I think we called it the Cavalanche on the Cleveland side, right? When that offense got hot from the 3 ball, and OKC
Hmm.
does it on the defensive end. They're just like steal layup, steal layup. And if they're able to turn Minnesota over, I could see it getting a little bit out of hand, but I don't know. Ant, this is a fun moment for Ant too, with the potential of going through the Lakers in the first round, the Warriors in the second round, and now they get this like number 1 seeded OKC team. This would be a pretty legendary run for the Ant Man if he was able to get his team
You
into the
got to
finals.
finish the job, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's last year was the one, right? Where
Hmm.
it was like, Yo, the same type of feeling. But if you don't get there, finish the job, it's not many options that you're gonna constantly just keep making it to the conference finals. You know what I
Right.
mean? So you gotta get to the finals.
Yeah. You don't get a lot of pats on the back for conference finals
Mm-mm.
runs. That's not going to get it done.
Nope.
Do you have a side you're picking here? Are you going with the favorites or do you like the Minnesota upset?
I mean, I'm indifferent. I don't care who wins it. I like both teams, but if I had to choose, maybe Minnesota just because it's like star led. Not
Hmm.
saying that Shea Gilgeous-Alexander isn't a star as well. He's the biggest star um, right now coming out of Canada. But I just really love Ant Edwards' game. You know what I mean? His
Yeah,
trash talk, his bravado, and
it's great.
very curious to see how he carries himself in this play. But again, he's playing against a very, very, very good OKC team. So you just don't know. But right
Yeah.
now, I would pick Minnesota.
Yeah, I feel like Minnesota, New York would be the most fun to talk about if it got to a finals, just because of I mean, obviously those teams haven't won in a long time.
Hmm.
Minnesota ever, right? I don't think Minnesota has a title yet, and New York hasn't won in forever. And then just that, because like you mentioned, the trade, seeing like Cat go against his former team and Randall go against his former team. I do think it's probably the other one. I kind of like OKC and Indiana to both get out of it, but I'm excited for it. I think all four of these teams are fun and deserving, and were teams that we were excited about for most of the season. I honestly though, I can't even say that because the Knicks, I did not see this coming, man. The Knicks at like halfway through that Pistons series, I was like, "There's not a shot in hell," and here they are, man. And they like people will talk about the Tatum injury, but the Knicks had that series before the Tatum injury. They had it before the Tatum injury.
Yeah, they were looking comfortable, man. Like
Mm,
coming into the game, you know what I mean? No matter how you wanted to put it, Tatum gets hurt or not, they were gonna go up 3-1.
for sure.
The Celtics probably would have won two more, but they probably would have got it done 4-2.
Yeah.
So
That's what can't. Brad Stevens said it yesterday in a press conference. Can't blow those first two games against a good team because you're just margin for error is too thin. These are professionals. Let's do some of the teams that got eliminated. Right, so we lost four teams this round.
mhm.
We got the Cavs, the Celtics, the Warriors, and the Nuggets. Of those four teams, who do you think you're most comfortable with heading into the next season? Like as currently constructed, I guess.
Well, I feel like the Cavs may need to slide Donovan to number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
What do you mean by that? Like, so that he's off ball a little bit more, or you mean that he has to be like their second best guy?
he has to be their second best guy. I just think that
Yeah.
the demand and all that other stuff, like he's very good, but
Hmm.
I just feel like one more player is needed.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know, man. I think a lot of those teams need work. I don't
Yeah.
think it's like, they're missing something. Whether it's injuries, like even the Nuggets got to get better. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And
So
I don't even know how they get better. Like, I don't even know. It kind of
they got to
seems,
go get they definitely got to go get like a Malcolm Brogdon.
yeah,
They
somebody,
got to get somebody that's like can score but also run the O.
yeah, somebody that
And
could knock down a three too. I mean,
durability too.
yeah, they are so desperate for some sort of shooting. I think Golden State's kind of fun only because like they definitely have to win now. Like
Yeah.
they're not, it's not like the Celtics are in a weird spot because they have a win now roster, but they know Tatum's not going to be there, so they kind of have to, I don't know what the hell they're going to do. But Golden State, you're like, well, we got Steph, Jimmy, and Draymond. We looked like one of the best teams after the trade deadline. Um, but they clearly need some more guys like that. I don't know if you were checking out a lot of that end of that series between Golden State and Minnesota, but that Golden State offense was a tough hang without Steph, and they definitely need some more shooting, maybe
Mhm.
another big. So Draymond's not playing the 5 in February,
Yeah, I mean that's been their solve too, man. Like, you know, I've seen the Warriors potentially getting somebody, another guard that could play point and relieve Steph.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I don't know. Again, every team needs something, and it's not even that they really need something. It's just that they need consistency because the guy that they may want to replace was good for them the round before.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
D Wade made a great quote about talking about Jimmy having to be that guy and willing to take shots despite him being a pass first guy because it hurts the team. You know what I mean? When he's not aggressive. You know what I mean? Like, why are you out there then? You know what I mean? If you're the second best guy and you're still passing it to Pods and whoever else is out there, Buddy Hill, and not being effective.
Right.
So it's just a little frustrating if I'm a Warriors fan seeing that.
Yeah, that was really surprising, and I kind of and maybe he's not trying to be like some of these other players when the season ends to immediately disclose an injury. You know, I know that's like a common thing to do.
I
The
mean, but
second,
if you played, you played.
100%, and like he,
I don't all that. Hey, we just learned he was playing on a torn meniscus. Hey, we learned that he was doing. You out there.
hmm
You clearly didn't sit out this game. If you line up and if you step between them lines, you are nobody's saying, "Oh, yeah, you beating them up."
right.
No, you elected to play the game privately and disclose that stuff, but nobody's gonna feel sorry. It's competition. Everybody's trying to win.
Yeah, and I mean, like you think about like Aaron Gordon took, I think Jimmy Butler took 4 or 5 more shots than Aaron Gordon did in Game 7, and like that's crazy. Aaron Gordon was on one leg. Like if you are out there, you are the offense without Steph, you have to. You just got to be more aggressive because that's your
Yeah,
only hope. You have to like, see the moment and look around and be like, man, who? If it's not me, who is it? Who is going to be the guy if it's not me? And I mean, listen, the Pajemski stuff was tough to watch at some points, but at least he was like, somebody's got to do this. Somebody's got to get aggressive and take the shot. And I
yep,
think if you're asking Buddy Hield to make 6 to 8 threes a game, that's probably not a realistic ask, right? Like he can do
nope.
that once a series for you, but that can't be what you're relying on. And that's clearly what they were. I mean, that is what they were relying on. So I'll be fascinated to see how they approach the offseason because I mean, everybody's already like throwing the rumors out about Kuminga being signed and then traded. Um, so I'll be just curious to see what kind of they need to find guys who are like younger vets. They don't need any more young talent around them. They need some like guys that can stretch. Like Cam Johnson would be so interesting with that team, but I don't know if Brooklyn is gonna like. What have the Warriors done with Jonathan Kuminga this year that makes him an asset that you'd want to sign and like do the sign and trade for?
I mean, he still has upside. He has size. He's young. I think
Mm-hmm.
depending on him and how he's used and played, like there was tons of times where he just wasn't playable through Steve Kerr's eyes.
Yeah.
But the league knows that he's valuable. He just needs to be seen in elsewhere. So obviously he's a hot plan for the Warriors. So he's looked at to develop a little bit faster and do a little bit more things and what's leaned on. And he had some big games for them in his career so far with them.
Mm-hmm.
But wherever he lands up, he gets paid. He probably won't get the number that he really wanted, but the usage will
No.
be there. And, maybe he'll be playing empty hoops or he'll be actually contributing to a team to help them win.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see where he goes. And then I guess like we could touch on the Celtics a little bit. Do you have any like how would you approach this offseason if you were them? I think they are in such a weird spot right now where they're still like talented enough. Like there's still a ton of talent on that roster, but they clearly
Who, Boston?
yeah, Boston.
Boston, I'm trading Jalen.
You are trading Jalen.
I'm trading Jalen. I'm letting JT sit out the rest of the season to get his body right.
Mm-hmm. So you go full
Um,
tank mode next year.
Not even tank. I'm just
No?
again just letting Al retire. You know what I mean, and preparing for Jason to come back and lead a young squad.
So like are you
Add a lot of value into Peyton Pritchard, boost him
yeah.
up a little bit. You know what I mean? Lean into the Hauser. You know what I mean? Invest in those type of guys, man. That are core and just kind
Mhm.
of go from there. But like, not do lean too much into trying to do that and trying to get something back decent for Jalen Brown.
Yeah, I wonder like what the market would be. I mean, obviously Jalen Brown, All-Star, Finals MVP. Like I'm curious what other teams would be willing to offer. And I saw Major in the chat was saying the Rockets. And like if it's a team like
Mhm.
that where it's like, hey, you want some young assets that can play right now and maybe some picks in the future. I do think that is a conversation you have to have. I don't think you're gonna force it. I don't think you're gonna force the JB move, but if there is a team that has some that is like trying to win right now. Because I think Houston, which we'll talk about in a second, is like their offseason is so fascinating. I think they could go in so many different directions. But do you think they do you think Drew and KP are back next year for him?
Nope.
No, think
I
they're all,
think KP has to figure out his health situation too. They're so banged up, dude.
yeah.
Like, obviously LeBron said on Mind the Game that the Celtics are bored, and I just disagree, man. I just think that it's hard to repeat.
Yeah.
That's it. Let's just be honest here. As much as people complain about rosters being constructed and all this other thing, it's just very difficult to come back and win it back to back.
Yeah.
The league's getting better. Even bad teams are getting good. And it's just, with a little bit of luck and, being right in the right situations, you can win an NBA championship, but availability is your biggest flex.
Yeah, and I mean, you're in the margins for error are so thin because of these teams who one have not won yet, so they're just like hungry for it. Like the Knicks and Pacers are playing a little bit more desperate. They haven't been there, right? So this is an opportunity for them to like knock you off the hill. And then like if your guys aren't healthy, they're not healthy. Like I mean, that's hard. Like, and that's why I always push back when like the Celtics went on their run, or like when Denver got their chip and they're like, oh, well, look who they played. I'm like, yeah, but that's part of it. It's like a battle of attrition, man. It's like who's still standing when it's done. Like that's part of the game. Is like you said, the best availability is the best ability is availability. So yeah, I'm with you. As a Celtics fan, I hope they don't move JB. I love him. I want both of those guys to be there for the long run. But I also know, listen, you just dropped $6 billion on a team that got knocked out of the second round, and that's not $6 billion is not a second round team. You know what I mean?
No. They had the idea that they were going to have Jason Tatum when they bought this team.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Not especially in Achilles. So it's like now we have to play the big what if game.
Right.
Obviously he's got to say he wouldn't seen the same doctor as KD, but everybody's different, man. Yeah. Everybody's different. So you can never tell in that situation. So I believe he's going to work hard and get himself back to to play in a high level, but it takes some time, and it's more of the mental than the physical more than anything. So
it is kind of wild. Like how I feel like not fandom has changed, but I don't remember the last time, like when this injury happened with KD, or even when it happened with Dame, like I don't remember people reporting how quickly the surgery happened afterwards. And I mean, I saw like 3 different articles that were just like, it's incredible how fast the surgery happened afterwards. I'm like, I almost feel like we know too much.
Yeah, we shouldn't even be tripping off of that or caring about the proximate thing. His player got hurt. He's a very good player, and he will be missed until the time that he's able to return, and we wish him a speedy recovery.
Absolutely.
But I just think that in the direction that they're going, without Jason Tatum, I mean, Celtics faithful is going to be there, but at the end of the day, it's just still a process to kind of work through.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, and do you really want to keep these two together, or do you want to actually, and there's been, that's a lot of money to commit to between those two players, plus the injury and all that other stuff. Because, KP, he's been having his breathing problems and things of that nature where he can't even play for long stints of time. And Drew Holiday, he's been professional throughout this whole situation, but again, he's mulled retirement a few times. So does he want to keep playing, or does he want to get moved to another competitive team? We don't know. But I think this is the time to really sit back and say, what can we get back? Because if we want to get draft capital, if we want to do these things, maybe we can flex that type of stuff with Jaylen Brown.
The KP thing was interesting too. Brad Stevens mentioned yesterday that he expects him to be ready to play in like the Eurobasket for his country in like 6 weeks or whatever that was. I was pretty surprised by that because they made it sound like, oh, this is just a post viral infection thing where it just takes a while. And I was like, if that was the case, why'd you roll him out there against Orlando? Like just give him the week or 2 off. Hopefully you can survive that, and then he's good to go for New York. But yeah, that was such a mystery, the whole thing around it. Again, obviously hope it heals up quickly and that this is a thing of the past, but just bizarre all the way around.
Yeah.
Let's do some would you rather here. I put together a couple of different scenarios. And one of them with a team that like I don't know if does your fan card for the Magic run up? Is that like a calendar year fandom and then you have to
I don't know. I mean, that's up to the listeners, man. They the ones who pick my team.
All right.
And I don't know.
I try to find two teams in like similar situations, I kind of think. So moving forward, let's say like the next 3 years, which team would you rather have, the Pistons or the Magic?
The Pistons.
Yeah. Because of Cade, or like what's your lean that direction for?
Nah, honestly, like I just think that they're trending up. But also the Magic are like they're fun, man. They got a nice front court, but their guards need so much work and
Yeah.
they're in their own way.
Yeah, I think both of these teams are kind of in a cool spot right now where they have ascending stars at this at an age, which is fun because you can still see the team build around them
Mhm.
without having to make a move. But if they do make an aggressive move, all of a sudden, especially in the East and what that's going to look like next year, they could seriously like contend to get to a conference finals. I don't know if a finals, but I think I lean Detroit too because I'm just excited about Cade, and they get Jaden Ivey back. And I thought Jalen Duren and Asar Thompson both took steps this year too. Like that's a solid young core, and you just like pluck in a couple more vets that they don't have to overpay, that just want to get some shots up. Then I think they put themselves in a good spot. And you're right with Orlando, like. You're not wrong by picking Orlando if the chat's picking Orlando too, because Franz and Paolo, I mean, they basically put up 55 a game in that playoff series against
Yeah.
Boston.
But
But you're
also
right.
like they're also just like banged up
Mhm.
constantly. You know what I mean? I think it's the health bill. We're riding on that more than anything. But yes, Orlando for sure.
Yeah.
I get it.
And again, another team I think will be fun in the offseason. Like, what kind of do they go after some guards finally, or do we spend a whole nother season being like, man, if they could just get some shooting? All right, let's do some West teams, and these two teams are kind of in different spots, but I also think similar based on age and assets. Both in Texas. We got Houston or San Antonio.
Give me Houston.
Yeah.
Yes. San Antonio's still a question mark up in the air. They're probably gonna have a guard problem because they're gonna draft,
Another one.
Dylan Harper. So now they have Dylan Harper, Castle, and Fox, and let CP3 walk.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're
I
just
know.
taking best available.
Right. Which I guess is what you should do when your team's only winning like 20 to 30 games a year at this point. But you're right. Roster construction wise, it looks a little weird. I am like, I think I would pick Houston right now too. But man, I love both of these teams just as a offseason content. Like, I'm curious, are the Spurs, because I feel like they have enough assets if they wanted to, with, pick 2, pick 14, all of like the future assets and the younger players they have on their team. They could like press fast forward right now if they wanted to. And like Houston, same thing. Like Houston might just run it back. They'd be like, shoot, we almost took out Golden State.
Mhm.
Maybe Reed Shepard gets a little bit better defensively so we can get him out there. Or, like you mentioned with Jaylen Brown, maybe they go make a move at somebody like that. Would you prefer Houston just running it back, or do you think they should
They
try
gotta
to
make a move.
consolidate?
They gotta make a move.
Yeah.
They're gonna probably lose Fred VanVleet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they need. I mean, everybody obviously been saying KD, but I don't even think that's the case. I think they need to make the swing for Giannis. They can put a good package together and roll with that.
I like that. Speaking of KD, let's get him to Detroit. I feel like that's put
You
some.
said KD in Detroit.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as they have to give up nobody,
Yeah.
which they
Yeah.
gonna have to give up somebody
Yeah, but maybe some like, what about like Ivy? Would you do Ivy?
out of there. He can leave.
Yeah. I don't know.
So
Put some length and some shooting there with some rim protection. That would be fun. All right, one more. Let's do the Battle of LA, Lakers or Clippers.
I mean, technically in the same boat. They just got Luca. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the thing. Um, I'm gonna go Lakers for right now.
Yeah, I think so too. I just don't know. I feel like so much went right this past season for the Clippers that it's hard to recreate that as those guys are getting a little bit older. But hard to pick against Zubac, man. Zubac might be getting a Zubac jersey this offseason. I think that was a fun season for him. But I think I'd go Lakers too. And then I just wonder what big man they throw some money at or try to make a trade for, because that's clearly they can't be. They got to do a little bit of roster tweaking,
Nah, that's real. I mean, when you really think about, Lawrence Frank saying like, "Oh, our best player missed 38 games or something like that." It's like that's not all right. That's not our fault. Like every year, we wonder. We go into the situation. Is Kawhi healthy? Does he look healthy?
Hmm.
Oh, he is healthy. Like the Clippers need him now, man. Like, and then James Harden just having such a good regular season and then just laying the egg in the playoffs is just tough, man. So I don't know. It's the same old story. And at least what you get, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not expecting too much from a 41-year-old LeBron, going into next season, but
Yeah.
he's still capable of playing at a high level, and you got to respect it and defend. And Luka Doncic will continue to get his feet wet and be successful at his position,
Yeah. We'll have to
especially
see.
with a full training camp with the Lakers.
Yeah. That's what I was just going to say. If
And
we get,
I think JJ is going to do a good job at getting better.
yeah, I think so too. I think so too. They have a more upside, I think. And then again, I know Bill Simmons and some other people are throwing around some that Austin Reeves might be on the block. I still kind of like Reeves there, but again, if you have to get a center and that's how you got to do it, I understand it because there is some redundancy there. But all right, let's go. Let's hit two more things. We'll do two more things and we'll get on out of here. Where do you think this Giannis situation goes? I know he has been having some fun with it too, which I almost
I don't
respect.
think he goes anywhere.
I think he's staying with Milwaukee.
I think he stays with Milwaukee, but like if there was going to be the most dramatic situation, he ends up in Brooklyn.
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine going to Brooklyn. Like if his whole thing was like, I want to make sure I'm in a winning situation. I don't know if going to Brooklyn is all of a sudden fixing that. That just kind of feels like you've moved your Milwaukee upside to Brooklyn. Um, but I'm kind of with you too. I think especially with the Tatum injury, and I don't know if this is why he would make that decision, but I mean Giannis and whoever you put around him is gonna be competitive in this East, I think.
Yeah, I
You
don't think
know?
he goes west at all. But the idea of it is just that, wherever he goes, I think it's based on location. He really likes New York.
Mhm.
But again, I still think the Bucks should have never traded Middleton for Kuzma. I don't think that was one of those bad ones, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Middleton's stock only got higher after that after that Kuzma performance in the postseason, you
Yeah.
know? I mean, you could have yeah, I know his health has been a thing and you can't really
Yeah,
guarantee
they
the
let they
minutes,
sent
but
my man to the North Wall in Washington. So
they did.
that was
They did.
tough.
It was free Middleton. Let's get him somewhere. Let's get him somewhere fun. Brooklyn, I hope Brooklyn does something because they need to get that energy back in Barclays, man. I mean, the energy's there for the Liberty right now, but that's about it. I mean, there's not a lot of Brooklyn Nets love going on. So attracting somebody like Giannis. My concern is if they don't get somebody like Giannis, do they do something wild just to spend some money? Or is it another year of, Cam Johnson playing 22 games and Cam Thomas taking 40 shots a game?
Nah, Cam Thomas is out of there.
Yeah.
He's out of there. He's a free man finally.
Wow.
So
Where do we need Cam Thomas to go then?
I would love to see Cam Thomas in Detroit.
Oh wow, that'd be fun. Like a little just come off the bench and cook for a little bit, replace
Yeah.
those Schroeder minutes.
Nah, I mean he need to start, man, at this point.
Cam Thomas?
Yeah.
Oof, that's spicy. That's spicy. Yeah, I guess you put him next to Cade. I mean, if he's gonna shoot well, they need some 3-point shooting over there too. Still, we'll see. People are saying the chat saying, what about Orlando or Detroit? Yeah, so we just talked about Detroit. Would you take Cam Thomas on your Orlando Magic?
Yeah, but he don't share the rock, bro.
Mm.
That ball belongs to Paulo and Franz. So they just need a decent point guard, bro. You
Yeah,
know what I
they
mean?
do.
That can hold it down, honestly. Like I wouldn't even mind taking Scoot Henderson right now.
I like that.
If we can get Scoot Henderson, I'll be with that for sure.
Scoot or Simons, but separate those two. Let one of them live. Give the
Yeah.
keys to, just so they can both get some run. All right. Last thing we needed to do because we haven't talked about it in a while, but I feel like we should just welcome Paul George back to the podcasting community.
Welcome back. Welcome
Yes.
back, Paul George, because, why not? I mean,
It,
at this point, he loved it. I don't know why he announced that he was leaving. He shut himself down anyway. So it was one of them things, but just hilarious, man.
it
Um,
was like a Brett Favre style
he's
retirement where
he's
he's
gotten
gone
to
for a
the
couple
point
months.
he's gotten to the point where he loves podcasting more than hoop.
Yeah. I mean, no one gets a quote viral kind of like Paul George these days. I feel like he's pretty good at letting it run up there. Do you think Philly drafts at the 3 spot, or do you think they make
They might trade that pick.
yeah,
They might trade that pick, but I tweeted Daryl Morey. I don't have Daryl Morey's number anymore, but I told him get Ace Bailey.
I like Ace.
I like Ace a lot, man. So
I like that. Yeah, I think they'll be a fun team. I mean, again, I know they were on paper a fun team this year, and was an absolute nightmare for them this season. But again, the East is just gonna be so wide open. It's gonna be so wide open. We're back. We've like gone back to the '90s. We got Pacers and Knicks atop the East here.
yeah, I mean it gets Pacers, Knicks, man, like they're the elite of the elite. Pain regardless of the results of this series.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna have Knicks fans upset. You're gonna have Pacers fans upset. I think Knicks fans would take it the hardest though, if
Oh
anything.
yeah.
Just to be honest. So
It's been honestly, again, I am on the Celtics side of things, but the city's been awesome. Like everybody, it's mostly positive energy. People are like looking at people in the eye when they're walking by strangers. Like everybody's so locked in and kind of rowing the boat in the same direction. It's been fun, even though it came at the expense of my Celtics. But you know what? You win a title, it changes you a little bit. I became soft. I wasn't even down that bad. I was like, we got one. We got one. Let somebody else feel the love.
nah, facts. I think that's the thing that you get complacent once you win, and that's what you know what I'm saying. That's what got everybody saying that they got complacent, but truly they would have enjoyed trying to. And I really honestly thought that the Celtics were going to try to win it again if Jason Tatum didn't go down.
Yeah, I mean, I kept I
I
kept
had them.
thinking
I
of
had them primed for a back to back.
yeah, I mean, especially with the way Cleveland was kind of faltering there in that second round against Indiana. I can't believe the Celtics blew those first 2 games. But credit to the Knicks, man. Like it takes 2 teams. One team's gonna blow up, but the other team's gonna win it. And Brunson just turns into just the best player of all time in the last 7 minutes of a fourth quarter. It's bonkers stuff. But I think that'll do it. Anything else, Trey, you want to get off your chest here after having a week off from potting? Is there any like takes you had in your back pocket that didn't make it?
Nah. I mean, honestly, I just really want to see this series reach high standards compared to like the 90s, right?
Mhm.
Nostalgia, you know what I mean? I've seen Pacers fans talking about, like beating the Knicks was like, and making it to the finals that one year was probably the peak of what they thought. And then also the Knicks haven't been to the finals
Mhm.
since 99. You know what I mean? 98, 99, lockout year, or whatever. So it's just a lot of passion. And I know that both franchises going to be going crazy. And I'm just excited to see that. And hopefully OKC and Minnesota is a good series. That's it.
Yeah.
I just truly want to see this final four of hoops really take off. And then shout out to the WNBA, getting the things rocking.
Ooh, the
Big
W's
fan of
back.
what they got going. I got a home seat with Caitlin Clark, so I'll be watching a lot of that.
There you go. Yeah, the W's back. That was a fun weekend. Of course, it got derailed by the internet discourse, but it was fun. I'm glad it's back. I'm glad it's back. Liberty going to do what the Celtics couldn't do, and that's run it back. But I'm with you, man. This has been a fun postseason. Like I've enjoyed every single series outside of like Memphis, OKC, and Miami, Cleveland. I think, but this has been a fun one. I just hope it keeps running out like this because you're right. 4 good fan bases left. All of them haven't either won ever or won in a while. So hungry for it. Should be a good one. But that's gonna do it for what are we? I think we're like episode 19 now, man. We're cooking. We'll be back on Friday. I think we're still doing some 2 weeks here throughout the postseason. And
Yep.
yeah, good to have you back, Trey.
Man, I'm glad to be back for real.
Let's do it. All right, we'll see you guys on Friday. We're
All
out.
right.